Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're watching me from around the world. Thank you for joining us today on the Sheung Akinlotan Show. This is where we spark meaningful conversations on a range of life topics from leadership, career, business, family, and even politics. My name is Sheung Akinlotan, and I am your host for today. If you're here, I encourage you to be a part of the movement. And peradventure, you're yet to subscribe, go ahead and do so right now. And also, remember to spread the news and share with a friend. If you're watching me right now, could you please leave your name and your location so I can give you a shout out? And then once we do that, I'll bring in our guest for today. Good evening, Tolulokpe Oluwole from Lagos, Nigeria. Yes, thank you everyone for tuning in. If you have not shared this video, go ahead and share with your friends right now. Welcome, Omolola. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you. Leave your name and your location. And today we'll be discussing the role of parents in raising exceptional children. I'm very passionate about parenting, and I am always looking for ways to become a better parent. And I know that if you are a parent as well, you are always looking for ways to become a better parent. So we have two guests for you today, and we'll be discussing the role of parents in raising exceptional children. Our guests are none other than Mrs. Abidemi and Miss Tamilore Adeyemi. This duo are what I call shining stars, and it gives me so much joy to have that opportunity to interview them today. So let's welcome Mrs. Abidemi and Miss Tamilore Adeyemi. Let's welcome them on the show. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you. We have some people online. We have Malik Faith from Ogun State, Mercy Ferreira from Philadelphia. Thank you everyone for joining, and thank you everyone for tuning in. I know you've been waiting for this session, and I promise you we're going to have a great time. We're going to learn, we're going to unlearn, we are going to relearn, we're going to have fun at the same time. Thank you. Tamilore, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. It's such a pleasure and a delight to have you on board. So, Mrs. Adeyemi, I'm going to start with you. Could you please introduce yourself to our audience? Who are you and what do you stand for?
Hello, everyone. It's a good day, and I'm glad to be online today on the Sheung Akinlotan Show. My name is Abidemi Adeyemi, and first of all, I'm a God-fearing woman. I'm a wife, a wonderful man, and I'm a mother to two lovely children. Oluwa Tamilore, who is here with us today, and Oluwa Tishefumi, a boy. I work with the state government in local state. I run a business for my daughter in the event industry that is thriving really, really well to the glory of God. And basically, I'm a family woman. Everybody that knows me know that my family comes first. After God, my husband, and my children. I do not joke with my family. Everything stands back when it comes to my family. So I'm glad to be here with my daughter doing this lovely show. And it will be good to hear her views about what she thinks my parenting style is all about. Thank you.
Yes. She's going to share our views, and I absolutely love the fact that she's here. I'm so excited because sometimes we think that we as parents, we think that this is how things should be. But I also know I've observed kids a lot. I know that they have their own ideas of how things should be. So right now we are all coming together, we are reasoning together, and we are going to pick one or two things from one another. Tamilore, let me give you an opportunity to introduce yourself to our audience. Who are you and what do you stand for?
Hello everyone, my name is Adeyemi Tamilore. I'm a second-year medical student in Ukraine. I also run a business here in Ukraine, Essential Batam, where I sell hair accessories, hair extensions, everything related to hair basically. And I'm also a YouTuber. On my YouTube channel, I post content about health, beauty, lifestyle, how things are generally. And as my mom said, she runs my business for me in Nigeria. That's Tammy's Events.
Wow. Look at that. Now you've incorporated that entrepreneurship spirit in her. See, she has this line of business, hair essentials on Instagram, right? Hair
Yes.
essentials. And then you also have a YouTube channel. And you are also a medical student. That's a big deal to me because it's not easy to juggle being a student and also being a YouTuber, trying to do all these things. And just the fact that you're trying to do things on your own, I really love it. I love when kids can be independent and they can do things with their hands. It's really great and well done to you.
Thank you.
Today, you're welcome. Today, we want to explore the role of parenting in raising exceptional children. And Mrs. Adeyemi, one thing I've not had the opportunity to tell you is the fact that I'm so proud of the work that you've done with your children. Despite your busy schedule, you seem to be able to create time to be there for your kids. How do you manage that? Because I know there are parents online watching. They want to know how to be able to manage their busy schedule. You know, people want to pursue their careers, they want to do well in their businesses, and all those things seem to be clashing. But you seem to know how to handle and manage such well. So give us some ideas on what you do and tips on what we can do as parents to create and strike a balance so that we don't miss it. We don't want to succeed in our careers and businesses and then miss it on the side of parenting. So we're looking forward to you sharing tips with us.
Thank you once again. First of all, most definitely it is God. Because all of this put together, I cannot achieve anything without God by my side. Then I would say this also, that it's from the foundation. Even the Bible says when the foundation is taken, what shall the righteous do? Most women set out and marry for the wrong reason. They have the wrong values. So their family is not number one to them. Their passion is about buying a Range Rover. Their thought is about competing with their classmates or having the biggest wedding in town. So they miss it from the beginning. When I started my family, I knew that my family had to be important to me. So the choices I made at the inception of my marriage was as in all around, surrounded by my children and my husband. So first of all, you think of a career. I joined the government, the public service, because I know that that is the where I can be, that I would have time for my family, that I won't be running helter skelter. You can't eat your cake and have it.
Have
You
it.
cannot be running after money and chasing your classmates and saying you want to compete with them. You would lose focus. So yes, you might not be financially stable initially, but when
Yeah.
you have the right values and you know that this is where you are going to, it was hard. Also, I have a very supportive husband. When you sat down and discussed your goals with your husband, you sit down and say, okay, this is what we want to do. You can share responsibilities. I remember vividly that I never missed any PTA or missed anything because we would always discuss it. If it's not going to be convenient, we'll schedule our time around it. It's about our values. Most women now, they marry and they just pick it up as they go. You have to be intentional about being a good parent. That's just it. The way you are intentional about having a PhD, intentional about getting a promotion, you have to be intentional about being a good parent, not just being a parent.
Wow. So you have to be intentional about being a good parent. I love how you put it. And you said something that I would like to follow up on. You said that it's about your goals. How many people actually sit down to plan these things? So when you are sitting down to plan your life, do you then say, do you do these things before you get married? Because sometimes some people say that they didn't understand the personality of who they are trying to get married to and the values of that person. So are you suggesting that these goals and what we're setting, the priorities, should be done before marriage? At least know who you are getting married to. And then when you get married, then you can then decide together how you want to raise that child. And also, I'll like to know your opinion on single moms, because not every family or not every mother has the husband there. So some are single moms. So what would you suggest to those type of moms on how to keep a balance between their careers and raising their children?
Okay, thank you. Let me start with the fact that about your goals. I think a lot of us, we are more interested in what the other person is bringing to the table. We are not thinking about what we are bringing to the table. I hear people say, I want a good man. What are you? Are you a good person? That person is also
Hmm.
looking for a good person. So first of all, assume that you are bringing 80% to the table and you're expecting 20%. So if you see 50%, you are blessed. It is magnified in your eyes. But we are going in with the expectation that once I get married, or my husband takes on off this, gets me two nannies, gets me a housekeeper, I have this, and it doesn't work out that way. Be, first of all, be add value
To
and
yourself
do that
first.
to yourself first so that these things are easier. For example, if I know that I want to eat a meal and I already bought rice and made stew and chicken, and all I'm expecting is probably a pinch of salt. If that salt doesn't come, I can eat my meal. But I bought only rice and I'm waiting for someone to bring chicken. I'm going to be disappointed. So try as much as possible to bring as much as you can into whatever relationship that you are entering, be it marriage, be it career, be it friendship. On the aspect of single moms, I tell people that what goes around comes around. Let me give a basic example. When I was in university, I was, I've always been very playful. I have friends here and there and all. When people are having events, I go. Even if it's just 30 minutes, I show support. A friend of mine got married around that same time, and almost all of us got Ashwebi, and we did not attend because she would always be too busy to attend anybody's event. It's all about creating time. So even if you find yourself as a single mom, if you've been supportive to your friends, to people around you, you are the one that your auntie can say, your bro needs help, go and meet. Even before you found yourself in that situation, you are the person that a colleague at work can say, oh, she's dependable. When you find yourself needing help, help will come to you even before you ask for it. But if you are the one that, I'm too busy to help others, it's not about you being single that makes it bad for you as a single mom. It's your character. You could be a married woman and have all the wonderful people around you, and you still will not have emotional support because you also do not give. So my
You.
belief is you give, you get as much as you give. So when you work towards giving and giving, automatically it's the law of God. It comes back to you a hundredfold. Don't focus on receiving, whether financial, whether emotional, whether support. Once you give, automatically it comes back to you a hundredfold.
Wow. Whew, I love that. So whatever you are getting is what you have given. That's how I put it, and that's how I understand it. And that's one of the principles of life. It's a principle. Whatever you give, that's what you will get back. And sometimes you get back in multiple folds.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And thank you for sharing that. So Tammy, I'm going to move to you right now. I know you're a young adult now, but could you please describe your mom's parenting style when you were much younger? How did that style help you to keep on track?
Okay. Well, I think my mom's parenting style was the basic African parent style, but she just had a little extra of our own personality because, okay, when I was younger, she used to discipline me a lot. But there was also a balance that, okay, we could talk. It's not every time that, okay, she had to shout, shout, shout. There are some times that she would just call me and just talk and ask that, okay, what went wrong? Why did you do this? Like, she was understanding. So there were some days she was like very African motherish, and there are some days that she came down and we could understand each other and just come to a compromise. So I can say that really helped me.
Okay. Now, you mentioned African mother. What's the definition of an African mother to start with? I want to understand.
We know that in Nigeria, parents beat their children.
Okay.
Yes.
They
So my
don't just
mom,
beat. If you fall off track, they try to,
yes,
push
by
you back.
correct, yes, that they try to correct you by
Okay.
beating you. But at the same time, the beating doesn't work for all children. There's some children that you beat them and they still go back to do the same thing because
Okay.
they don't feel moved by the cane anymore. And it gets to a point that you beat a child, over and over and over, and the child becomes immune to that beating. The child is like, okay, if I do this, what will mommy do? She will beat me. It's not more than that. So I feel that you have to talk to your children. A child will do what that child wants to do. So you have to talk and come to an understanding with that child. But I'm not saying you shouldn't discipline the child. Some children also need discipline. But then you still have to understand the method that works for each child. Yes.
Okay. So you are saying that parents should study their children and then come up with the appropriate disciplinary strategy. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So now,
but I wonder, is it in the midst of running around and doing this that we don't have time to study these children? So we have to do. I have 2 kids, so automatically, if I'm beating A, I'm beating B, whether B has a different personality style or not. So what it is an all round. I think that's the African mother thing. When one is wrong, 1 and 2 are wrong. So Ejoma Jegba all round me. So yeah, and I know that yes, we are supposed to study and realize that, like my son doesn't like to. No, he doesn't like insults. He doesn't like wahala. He doesn't like drama. Don't talk to him. My daughter we can still talk about it, but I don't have that kind of patience. So I think that's just it. So we keep on doing trial and error, so we get there.
Yes. So Tammy mentioned something that I want us to follow up on. She said that there are some children that no matter how you beat them, they just get hardened. So what can a parent do if they find themselves in such situations? Because like you said, we don't have a manual on how to be a good parent. So we just try what we feel is the right and appropriate way. But if a mom or a dad or parents, they have exhausted talking to, they have exhausted beating, what else can they do? What will you recommend, Mrs. Adeyemi?
Pray. You pray. But I also say one thing, that nothing gets hardened overnight. A child that becomes hardened was soft at the point. So something must have gotten wrong. I use this analysis that when 2 people get married, they spend the first 5 to 10 years of their lives getting to know each other, and they forget that they have children. They are so deep in their failures and their expectations, and they forget that the children are watching them. So a boy of 3 years wants to talk to the mom and sees the mom moody. He goes away. Or you snap at the child for the first time because your husband has not come home, or he has not called you, or he's keeping a late night. And that's where parents miss it. Yes, marriage is hard, and you are just adjusting to marriage. But if you know that you are not ready, don't bring it into the world. You have to leave your emotions, whatever you are feeling at every time, to attend to your child's needs between the ages 1 to 10, because that's the formative years. But this is the same formative years for your marriage. So you have to pick one prayerfully. Your marriage, you can still work on it after a while. But once you miss it with your children, they become hardened. A child that you've not given time attention to for 5 years, then now that you are okay with your marriage and you understood your husband, you put energy into understanding your husband more than understanding your child. Then you come back to your child. The child doesn't send you. And you say, okay, now let's talk. The child says, no, I've sorted it out. The child has friends outside, has developed people, bonds outside with people that are now educating them. So children don't get hardened overnight. But if you find yourself in a situation where you have a hardened child, all you can do is pray. Just pray.
All you can do is pray. I love that. And you said that children don't get hardened overnight. I think everyone is born with a soft heart. We think the best of people until we start growing up. We start seeing things, and people start seeing things from the home. So when parents have children and they are not focused on the children, things will start to slip away gradually. And by the time you realize it, it might be too late. But you're saying that we should pray. I want to hear from Tammy, being a medical student, and I know that she has some ideas as well. So you said that some children, no matter how much they are beaten, they just get hardened. What would you recommend? Just looking back to your own growing years, or maybe some of your friends that I'm sure someone must have told you, oh, mommy beat me yesterday, So what advice would you give to a parent that they have a child, the child is not listening, the child is belligerent, the child is just doing whatever they like, what would you advise a parent, or what strategy would you advise a parent to adopt in that type of a situation?
Honestly, I agree with what my mom said about praying, and like a child doesn't just become hardened overnight. Because I have some friends that don't have good relationships with their parents, and that's because of their parents' attitude towards them. They don't give them enough time and attention. Sometimes children just want to talk to their parents, and some parents are never there, or they don't want to listen. And so these like children, they start talking to their friends or aunties, uncles, and they trust those people. They don't have a relationship with their parents. So I yes, I agree with what mom said. Okay, just pray about it. And the parents can also try to like change. It's not going to be easy. It's not be easy to gain the child's trust again, but you can work on it and just try to talk to the child, give the child attention, spend time with the child, and just relate with the child well to build a good relationship.
Wow. So parents can sit down with their children and relate with them, give them attention so that they can build a relationship. I love that. Now, Mrs. Adeyemi, you are a parent, you've passed through a certain phase, your children are now teenagers. What do you think is the most difficult part of parenting, especially in the early years, in the early formative years? And I'm talking about maybe 0 to like 15. What is the most difficult part of parenting for you, and how were you able to navigate those difficult moments?
Well, for me, first of all, I had to adjust my thinking because I'm married to a man that doesn't beat his children. As in, my husband has never beaten my kids. As in, and they are 18, they're going to be 18 and 15. I have never seen my husband even shout at them. And they have a lot of love and respect for him. But I come from the background where everything is But I know that as an individual now, if you shout at me, I cringe. There's something about it, even if you are not insulting me, if you just raise your voice at me, it sets something in me. And it's because of my background. So I'm conscious about it for my own children. Both my kids have different personalities, and I have to study them. Let me give an example of something that happened recently that made me realize that I am still learning in this parenting thing. My daughter is far away from me, and she sent me a picture one day while she was normally she sent me a picture of herself, what she looks like today. And I didn't particularly like what she wore on that day. So instead of me to call her, I just sent her a message and said, I don't like what you're wearing. And the next thing, we had a crying conversation. She was crying on the phone. And her dad had to call her and pacify her and pet her, only for me to find out that she had a very terrible day. And she sent her picture to me because she knows when she sends her picture, I'll say something nice. And she was expecting that something nice to make her day better. If I exercise a little patience to actually ask and say, oh, okay, how is your day going? Which I would normally have done. But because the African mother in me saw something I did not like, I reacted immediately and said, Tamilore, I don't like what you're wearing. And she burst into tears. This was the last year. So for me, I should have been more patient. A day, all she needed was a good word from her mom to say, oh, how are you? Oh, why? Then I can now say, so what is up with our dressing today? There's a way I could have said it that would have been, okay, are you having laundry day? So I'm still learning also that these children are sensitive. Our parents didn't give us the opportunity to be sensitive. So it was all things go. But they are sensitive and we need to watch their body language. They might not be able to speak to us all the time, but it is for our own good. I've learned to say sorry. These days, I don't discipline, I negotiate. We talk. What something goes for something. Okay, teacher for me, I don't want you playing PS4 from this time to this time. He has to get something for it. It sounds Western. It sounds, but that's the only way that I will have success with him, that I will get him to do what I want him to do. Initially, I always wanted my kids to arrange the house at my own time. Tamara likes to sleep till about 10, 11 a.m. My son is awake by 5, 6 a.m. But she tells me that, mommy, you need everything done by 3 p.m. Allow me do it at my own pace. But the African mother in me says, do it now. So when she does it at 7 a.m., she has nothing else to do. So what have I achieved? A grumpy child that is probably asking where they found this mother from, and I wonder whether her father brought her from somewhere, and I'm probably a stepmom, you know. So over time, I've learned to, okay, Tamilore, I need this done. Mommy, when will you be back? Mommy, what is my timeline? What is my deadline? Then she can plan herself. And it also lets me see that, okay, she's responsible enough to plan herself and get this done at her time. At the same time, it's a win-win. I have my
Win-win
way,
for
she has
everyone.
her way. Yes, but
Yes.
it's because we believe that we do not inflict injury and pain. And it's like pounding yam. My dad would say, "We not pound the yam that you don't sweat on." It's not as hard as it used to be. As long as you have the pounded yam to it, but he wants you to make that pounded yam under duress.
Wow.
And I think that's the thing with a lot of African parents. We just like we must have our way and bulldoze our way through it.
I don't know if you're listening, people, but I picked something from this. She said negotiation. You have to learn the art of negotiation. And who can we learn the art of negotiation from better than our kids? They sure know how to negotiate. So when they are negotiating, I'm watching, I'm learning, I'm like, okay, this is a great strategy. You can learn how to negotiate from your kids. I'm going to read some comments. And Olayemi Akinlotan says that, well done, mommy and daughter, learning here now. God bless you both. Ademidola Abidogun says, parenting is not an easy task. As a parent, we should always pray for wisdom. Be friends with your children. Talk, just watch movie with them. Shoboye Jolu Lopez says, yes, I think we need to trust these children to be responsible themselves. I absolutely love the art of negotiation. Give them a timeline and say, you know what, get this done today between the hours of 7 to 10. Don't say you have to do it exactly at 7. So it gives a little wiggle room for that. I love it. I love it. So, Tammy,
Yes.
let me ask you a question. When you were growing up, you're still growing up, you're still a young adult. When your mom tells you to do certain things, or maybe she wants you to accomplish a task and you don't feel like doing it, how do you normally respond to that?
Well, I think it is written all over my face when I don't want to do something. And my mom and I have this understanding. So she sees me and she's like, you don't want to do it. She know how she just makes fun out of it that, okay, you can wait till you're ready, but do it before I come back from work.
Okay.
But this wasn't just sudden. It's not like she always gave me the chance to do it before she came back from work. There are some days that she's like, do it now. That she's not going to hear anything. Like, I'll just be moody and all of that. She'll also not happy with me. So we'll end up not talking, then later sorting it out. But eventually she came around and she got to understand that, okay, I'll get it done, but not that 7 a.m. Because it is not always an important thing, like very urgent. It might be like, okay, clean the floor or maybe wash these plates, pack my clothes or something. I'm like, Mom, if I don't do it now, nothing is going to happen. Like, nothing bad is going to happen. So let me just do it when I'm ready. So I think we've come to a compromise and understanding now that, okay, I can do things at my own pace.
Okay. All right. That's good. So let me ask you, I've heard a lot of children say their parents don't listen to or understand them. What tips would you like to share with parents to help them understand their children better, especially teenagers? We hear a lot of stories about teenagers. Teenagers are special breeds. What is it about teenagers that parents don't understand? So, do you have any tips for us parents to help us understand you better?
But the thing is that you can't just be best friends with your child when the child is a teenager. You have to be best friends from when the child is still very young. So the child is growing to always talk to you. Like me, when anything happens to me, even when I'm in school, I call my mom first because I'm so used to talking to her all the time. Like we talk every day. So not talking to her is just strange. So anything that happens, I always call my mom because growing up, she always made time for me. Like no matter what, she always like, okay, if there's a meeting in school, there's an event, no matter, even when she goes to work, she always, if there's anything wrong with me, she'll always come home. So we had this very good relationship. So I feel that they should build that relationship with their children first, so that children will be able to talk to them, and they should also not forget things that children say to them, because there are sometimes that the child will make reference to some certain things that the child had mentioned to the parent before, and the parent should remember and be able to, like, okay, relate and just talk to that child. So, and the parents should also, like, make their children feel very important. It is special. Like, okay, when it's not just about talking to the child. When you go out on some random days, buy things for the child. It doesn't have to be something so expensive or something so big, but the fact that you just bought this little thing for the child, it might be a snack that your child likes, or this top, or this shoes or something. It will just make the child feel special and know that, okay, my mom loves me or my dad loves me,
Yes, for
and the
me.
child wants to always, yes.
Wow. That's great. So you and your mom are basically saying the same thing. If you want to develop a good relationship with your child, you start from when they are young. You don't wait until they become a teenager and then you are trying to understand them. You are trying to navigate their lives.
Mm-hmm.
They are already thinking in their heart, what's mommy feeling like? Where were you 5 years
Where were
ago?
you?
Where were you 7 years ago? So
Mm-hmm.
this is a big lesson for us. Although it's not easy, I must tell you, it's not really easy because family situations are different. I'll give you an example. So many people leave Nigeria, maybe after they have 2 kids, after they have 3 kids, and just relocating from Nigeria to another country. It's very stressful. And when you relocate from Nigeria to another country, you are starting from ground zero. You have to work, you have to pay bills, you have to leave your comfort zone, and just trying to merge everything together can be really really tough. It takes a lot of intentionality and even sacrifice or denying yourself certain things to say, you know what, I want to focus on my children. But it's really important. I always say that what is the use of a career, what is the use of a business if after 20 years, after 30 years, your child still didn't turn out the way they are supposed to turn out? So as we try to rise in our career, as we try to build profitable brands, we should also try to create time for the kids and make choices that would help the family as a whole. Miss Adeyemi, do you want to add something to that before we move on?
Yes, yes, please. I realize that a lot of parents make this mistake. Growing up, I think I must say that I got lucky with Tamilore, because I remember that as far back as when she was 3, she would ask me, "Mommy, do we have money?" She would say, "Do you have money?" She said, "Mommy, do we have money?" Then she was in KG, and I would take her and her brother. I would pick her and her brother from school, and a few of our friends, children, couple together. I remember I used to buy 15 naira yogurt for them. Then when they closed, I don't know if she remembers. And when we get into the car, we maybe I pick her from school. She says, "Mommy, do we have money?" Because I've sat her down before to say, "See, sometimes I can afford to buy 2 yogurt. Sometimes I can afford to buy 5. But because people know me as the mommy that buys yogurt, they're already lining up behind her and saying, "Tamilore, when your mommy is coming, let her buy yogurt for us." So she would ask me already, "Mommy," so that she can tell her friends that mommy does not have money today, don't expect yogurt.
Yeah.
She can manage their expectations. But if she asks me, "Do we have money?" and I don't answer her, or I say, or I lie to her, then she expects that when I'm coming, I should buy a bag of yogurt. Then I get that she has promised her friends that, "Oh, don't worry, my mom is coming with yogurt." Then I get I have embarrassed her, I have disgraced her. And she does not understand. What she will see is this woman could afford to buy yogurt, but she did not buy it for me. But from a young age, because I'd always discussed that, maybe I'll say, "Hey, I'm broke." Okay, mommy, you're not broke in Jesus' name. Okay, let's talk about it.
Man.
And now she would call her brother and say, "This Christmas, don't expect much." Why? And in my house, when we say mommy, it's mommy and daddy, because my husband is not the talky person. So he talks to, we have a system that works for us. So when I say mommy is broke, they know that don't go near my husband. So they will still sneak behind me to go to my husband and collect what they want. But they know I can block it. So they still must go through me. So for me, like you keep using the example of relocation, sit the children down. They are not too small to understand. It is when these children have large expectations. A child says, Mommy, I want PS5. And you begin to tell the child, all the child says is you can afford it and you're not giving me. But you say, see, these are the bills. This is this. I really, really desire to buy this for you. But if I buy it, it will affect your school fees. What do you think? Let that child feel he's the one making the decision. My son will tell me that, Mommy, for my birthday this year, don't stress yourself. You hear? Mommy, don't stress yourself. He has saved me money because I've planted it in his head that, see, I'm a bit broke. And he says, tell daddy that I should not worry. I'm fine. So he believes that he's in control. He feels happy. So when his friends ask him that, your parents didn't buy it, he says, no, I told them not to buy for me. So you have, that child becomes a confident child. That child becomes a loved child. That child begins to take decisions. And I think that is what really helps it. Because now my kids discuss amongst themselves. My son is home in Nigeria. He will call his sister abroad and say, I want to go to Domino's on Friday with my friends. Does mommy have money? Is it an okay time? So Tamilore calls daddy and says, Daddy, toast daddy. And the next thing daddy says, okay, I think you take Shefumi and his friends out. They have manufactured money behind. But because we have included them in the running of the family, they understand. I know a child that her parents are struggling, and she's the first to tell everybody, my father is rich, my mother is rich. You don't blame that child because it is what you are saying to the child. So when the child says, I want to go for a vacation, my friends are going to UK, they believe that their parents can afford it. You have messed up that child's life. But let that child have empathy. Let the child understand that, oh, see, we don't have it right now. But also be the parents that when you have it, the child sees that when you have 100 naira, you would spend 90 naira on the child. So that when you do not spend on them, even when you have it, they will make excuses for you and say, oh, for her not to have bought it for me, she does not have money.
Wow. I don't know about you, but I'm learning. And I love how you said, let the children be involved, explain things to them. Don't try to shield them away from your finances or whatever is going on in the family. Speak to them, come to their level, explain things to them, and they will understand you better. That is absolutely amazing. We're going to go on a short break now. And when we come back, we're going to talk about judgment in children. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is the Essay Show. If you are just joining us, my name is Seun Akinlotan, and today we are discussing the role of parenting in raising exceptional children. My guests are Mrs. Abidemi and Ms. Tamilore Adeyemi. My next question goes to Tamilore. So, Tamilore, are you there? Hello? Tamilore, is Tamilore there?
Yes, I am.
All right. So you got the next question. A lot of children hide things from their parents. They hide things from their parents. Probably, I don't know the reason why, but probably because they fear being judged. So, if I tell mommy this, she's going to judge me. She's going to yell at me. She's going to scream. What specific tips would you recommend to parents that would prevent children from hiding things from their parents? Now, I know that as the child grows, they might not be able to tell their parents 100%, but what can we do as parents to get you to tell us at least 90%, 95% of the things that are so important? Because it's important that children open up to their parents so that they can guide them and nurture them. The things that parents can see sitting down, is so much more than what a child can see standing up. And experience is truly important in leading a successful life. So I want to hear from you. What tips would you like to share with us parents on how we can deal with you so that you will not keep things away from us?
First thing is that it is not easy. Okay, I don't think you should expect your child to tell you 95% of everything going on in your child's life, because your child has friends. So I feel that you should be friends with your child's friends.
Okay.
Yes, because my mom now, I can say that she talks to almost like my closest friends, my circle of friends. She has every one of them's number. They chat, they talk on the phone. So if she's not hearing something from me, I'm not saying that she should call my friends and ask what's going on in Tamilore's life or something. No, but she has a good relationship with all of us. So we were free with her. She doesn't overreact. Okay, don't overreact. If your child comes to tell you something, don't just shout immediately. It might not be easy for you to control your reaction or that you anger at the moment, but just try to calm down and listen to what your child is saying. Because if you shout at that child is not going to come back. The child will just be like, okay, next time I go and tell mom, she's just going to shout at me again. So there's no point. But if you listen, you might be very annoyed. But if you just try to listen, it's not easy. I know it's not easy, but if you just try to just listen to your child, okay, after then you can now say, okay, what you did was wrong. You can shout a little and all of that. But at that moment that your child comes to tell you that thing, don't just blow. Don't just like go off on that child. It's not. Don't go off on the child.
Okay.
No, because the child is not going to come and tell you things. Because what will be registered in the child mind is that if I come and tell my mom, she's just going to shout at me, and there's really no point. So you have to be a nice parent. Just try to be nice and listen to your child. Be calm.
Be calm, be nice.
Yes.
I love everything you said. And just the fact that you also acknowledge that it's not easy, because when you are hearing certain news,
Yes.
the instinct is to shout or react, but you are saying we should be calm. We will try. We'll try.
Yes. Like when I first came to
Okay, I'm
Ukraine.
listening.
Yes, when I first came to Ukraine and I started handling money on my own, my mom was like this on my neck, like, don't spend, don't do this, don't do that. But there was a time that I just decided to buy myself something. I bought it, then I told her. Then I was like, she's across the other side of the world.
Oh, sure. She won't swim.
She cannot jump out of the phone and beat me. So I just told her that, hello, mommy, I bought this for myself. She was like, hey, why did you so? I said, mommy, calm down. There's no, just calm down. I have bought it. But but the next time I bought another thing, she's like, just tell me before you buy it, though. I'm not going to shout, though. So before I buy things now, I always tell her that, okay, mommy, I want to buy this. Do you think it's a good idea? Or, mommy, I really like this thing and I'm going to buy it. And she's like, okay, oh, no problem. So, like, as far as she's not shouting at me, I'll still go back to tell her and say, okay, I want to buy this, I want to do this. Is this okay? So, that's...
Wow. I love that. I know your mom is itching to say something. She's itching to say something, and I'll give her an opportunity to respond to that. But I also want to read some of the comments because it's important that we hear from the audience as well. Titi Izwagi says proper communication would always bring liberation. Absolutely. Proper communication would always bring liberation. Rennie Ogumbi, communication is the life of any relationship. Absolutely. Whether it's the relationship between husband and wife, boss and subordinate, mother and daughter, communication is always, we should always endeavor to communicate effectively. Esther B says, I need to stop shouting. You could hear my mom's voice from 10 miles away, and I inherited that. Tammy, thank you for the tip. I'll definitely take it on board. Yes, we are all learning. I love it. Mommy, be calming down small. And that reminds me, that video that went viral on the internet where that little woman, Mommy, calm down. not easy. When you love your child and you've sacrificed a lot and you just see that child doing something that you don't approve, it's very hard. But we will try. We'll try to be calm. So, mommy, what's your contribution to that?
In fact, the fact that she referred to the purchase she made then is making my heart beat faster then, because I remember that my reaction was so bad, both to her and behind. But I think one of the things that helps me is that I have a husband that is so calm, and he's just always like, take it easy. The things that I overreact, and the thing is, if not that we manage to not let them play us against each other, they would have had more of their way, because my husband would always discuss with them. I shall, well, no, and my point is, if I react to her, my husband will still hear and he would blame me. So I don't want to get scolded at both ends. My son would tell you right in the morning, go and sit down, mommy, calm down. He doesn't have time to talk a lot. But my husband would tell you that, okay, by the time my husband breaks it down, you would feel very stupid. Like when she bought the stuff and I told my husband, can you mind Tamilore? And I was like, okay. Did she ask you for additional money? No. Okay, did she complain that she's broke? No. So when you shouted, what did you achieve? Nothing. So why did you shout? So I end up feeling very stupid. So these days I'm learning, and I must commend myself, even if Tamilore does not commend on the fact that when the Silhouette challenge started, the African mother in me picked up my phone to say, Tamilore, they know born you well. But I put down my phone and said, I have raised this girl right, and I trust her. And I never mentioned it to her. And I think 2 or 3 days ago, she was like, Mommy, this stupid challenge. I was like, thank God, though. And she said she was waiting for me to mention it, and that me not mentioning it made her realize that I really do trust her now. Mommy has changed. And I was feeling good with myself that, oh, thank God I did not mess up. If I had mentioned it, she would have raked for me. I probably reported it to her daddy. That, can you imagine? Mommy spoke to me about this challenge. She should give me more kudos than that. So for me, I say we will keep trying to calm down. And I would say this again on live TV or YouTube, that I pray that God spares our life. I always tell Tamilore that I will remind her when she becomes a mom and she begins to shout, then I will sit down and say, no, you must not shout. I will assume grandma did and say, no, allow the girl to speak her mind and remind you what it was like raising a teenage child.
Yes, because sometimes if you are not wearing those shoes, you won't know where they are pinching. Yes, someone says that we are proud of you, mommy. And of course, we are very proud because of our time. And I want to make sure that I ask certain questions. I want to go on to this particular question. I know that when Tamilore finished her high school, she finished with distinguished honors. How did that make you feel? And how did you feel when she had to leave home? Because I know that that's the hardest part. Sometimes I look at myself, I look at my children, I'm like, in a few years, they're going to be leaving home, and I don't even know how I will react. So how did you react to when she had to leave home and when she graduated from high school? Because I know she did really well.
Our graduation was as in, to God be the glory. That all I can say is just to God be the glory for all the successes that she had attained and is still going to attain. She made us really, really proud. And the thing is that a lot of people see me as a liberal parent, that I give her a lot of free hand. Tamilore does business. Tamilore is social. She's on YouTube. And I got a lot of bashes from my friends, from critics. I have people calling me behind and say, Tamilore is always online, always this. So for her to do well was like telling them to go to places. You understand? I remember that a teacher in our school called me once to say, I give her too much freedom. And I said, leave her. If you have any problem, pray for her. I don't know how to train a child. I don't have a manual. I'm just doing trial and error. So you cannot teach me how to train my child. All you can do for me is to pray for my child and tell me, oh, this is what, thank you, but I don't have to do it your own way. So I say thank you once again, Tamilore. I say thank you to you for giving me mouth, like we say in Nigeria, to speak up, because a lot of people just feel that, oh, it's Tamilore, it's my house that you see Tamilore's friend. I'm the one that will have barbecue party. I'm the one that will have surprise end of year party, and say, bring your friends here. But for me, it's a way to know my child and her friends. I'd rather observe her where she is in my home than where I don't know the
Where
situation
she's
that she's
going?
going to. I wouldn't allow her go to a friend's house where the friend has a senior brother, because I trust her friend, but I don't trust the brother. I trust my child. I don't trust the other child. So for me, I say thank you and I say glory to God that she's making us proud. When she had to go, I think that's, even till now, that's a very sore subject. Because Tamira is my Mora Nikeji. She's my, I realized one day that we don't have hello or hi on our phone. We have an unending conversation. We start the day with continuing the conversation from the day before. There's no greeting. We don't greet each other. We are always talking. There's always one thing. She calls my phone. Hey, mommy, this. There's no good morning, mommy. There's no, it's at the end of the day, she says, oh, okay, so I was okay. So for me, having her so far from me is heart-wrenching. As in, it's a sore subject, but I give God all the glory that we took that decision, because see the state of education in Nigeria now. I just read today that UI something they're canceling the whole year, no admission or something like that. So we thank God for that, and I'm hoping that soon I can have her in my arms again and just
In
hug
your
her and
arms.
talk in my arms. Yes, she's my baby girl, and
Tamilore,
there's too much to talk about. And
no, she's
I
going
love on to
to
something anyway.
come and visit you. But guess what? Our heart is already somewhere else. So please, that your dream.
Whose heart is somewhere else? Whose heart? I'm sure that you are saying no, your heart is with me and your father. Your heart cannot be somewhere else.
Okay, Tamilore, where's your heart? Your heart is with your mom? No, I don't think so.
Somewhere I need you to answer that question. Where is your heart? So hey.
At home.
At home. At home. Yes.
I know, somewhere clarify. At home. Home. Where is home?
With you and daddy.
Okay, I'll say you said so. Anyway, that was beautiful. It's always a hard time, and it's something that a lot of parents don't look forward to, but it's part of life. You left home, right? And now she's leaving home, and you didn't go back to the aunts of daddy and mommy. So please leave her alone. Tamilore.
Yes.
Okay, so what about you? How did you feel leaving home for college, and how is college life going on for you?
Okay, when I was coming to Ukraine, my mom traveled with me.
I trust her.
She said she was not going to let me go anywhere if she's not following me there. No. So she stayed for about a week or so, about a week. But leaving home was exciting.
Yes.
Okay, it was okay, I'm going to a new place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to study and all of that. But at the same time, I was thinking about many things I was going to miss at home, like home cooked meals and all of that. My family, my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So at the same time, it was saddening, or I don't know how I'm going to put it, but at the same time, it was okay, exciting,
The
a new
mixed feelings
experience.
kind of thing.
Yes. So I also had a new experience. But studying here now, this is my third year in Ukraine now. It has been really nice for me. Like, I've got to meet a lot of amazing people. School has been going really well. Life isn't really difficult. It's just like I'm waking up, going to school, coming back, eating. Like
You're just being you, and you're
yes,
enjoying
I'm
life.
just free. Yes. I'm
That's
free.
great.
Yes.
That's absolutely great. Now, this is the opportunity that I've been waiting for. Mrs. Adeyemi, I would like you to tell us more about Tammy and what are some of the attributes that endear her to you.
I think the best attribute about Tamira is that she's one of the few people that can. I think she's the one person that can tell me to my face that, mommy, you're wrong. Mommy, no. I remember something happened. I had a fight with my son. He did something bad and I scolded him badly. And my rule is you must apologize. And he apologized, but I was so furious with him that I just kept telling him, just get away. Just get away from my side. And she came to meet me in the kitchen. I was like, mommy, you have a son elsewhere. I said, no. She said, okay, you raised us that we should apologize and also raised us to accept each other's apology. So why is this boy apologizing to you and you are refusing? Okay, do your worst. And she left. And I felt very stupid. And she used my words against me, because what do I go back to tell her? That I'm still angry, which means she can also choose not to accept an apology from a friend or from a brother. So
Or
I
even
have to
from you.
apologize to my, exactly, or from me. So I have to apologize to him and apologize to her and apologize to both of them together and tell them that I was wrong. So I think one of the things about her is that I see a lot of that she taps a lot from her dad. A lot of her strength, her character is from her dad. And she's been able to balance that with my own personality. And she's just come out as a very fantastic young lady. She is not even the way she relates with us, it's the way she relates with her friends, with people around her. She has a good sense of judgment. She's not a child that I'm afraid would stray. What I do is to pray against being ganged up against or the devil doing something. But when it comes to her choices, I have 100% assurance that she'll make good choices,
The right
bearing
choice.
any negative or spiritual attack, and that's why we never stop praying for her.
Amen. 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 So Tamilore, mommy says that you have a nice balance between I think she said you took more from your dad than her, and that you have that nice balance. Now it's your turn to shine that spotlight on your mom. What are the things that you truly appreciate about your mom?
One thing about my mom is that she can go out of her way to do anything for me and my brother. Like, there's nothing, I don't think there's anything she can't do for us. Like, if it's that I need something today, she's going to get it. Even if she has to like send someone to go far or look everywhere, I don't know. She can donate her organs. I don't know. Like, she's this type of person that, as she said, she really loves her. She really loves us and my dad and all that. So the thing that she was number one in her life. So that's one thing that she really does. That okay, no matter what happens, I know okay, she always has my back. Even if I do something wrong or I am in trouble, I don't even if I might hesitate to call her, but I know at the end of the day that I have to call her because she's going to find a solution and everything is going to work out. We might fight, but she's still going to be like, yeah, my only daughter. Yeah, there's nothing she cannot throw me away.
Yes.
That yes. So that's one thing that she does, and I know that she loves me so much. What cannot describe the amount of love that she has for me.
Yes, yes. And that is so beautiful. I purposely asked you that question because sometimes, in the African setting, we don't, we tend not to express how we feel towards our parents or even our children, especially parents to children. A lot of parents find it difficult to tell their children that
Mhm.
I love you. We are not very expressive. So I purposely asked that question. We need to be comfortable with saying words of endearment to our parents and parents also to their child, telling your child that you love them, reassuring them, not just in action, but also in words. It really goes a long way. Thank you so much, ladies, for being with us today. From the comment section, the audience really enjoyed. Someone says, "Lucky you, ma. So proud of you, my dear Tammy. Lovely session. Always on point, mama. Thank you, mommy, for being selfless. Yeye oge plus brain. I love that. Thank you, everyone. So before we go, I want to give you the last chance to say a final word. Mrs. Adeyemi, what else would you like to say?
I'll just like to say that a lot of us, both we were once children before we became parents. And whatever we do today, whatever we are today is based on the decisions that our parents made for us. Let us try as parents to make better decisions, to do better by our children. Because a lot of my failures today are based on decisions my parents made for me. My successes, yes, too, but it could have been better, which means we are also responsible for these children. They did not ask to come. They are our responsibility. It is our job to make sure that they are happy. Happy, I say happy all the time because that's what forms happiness, I don't know. But your role as a mom, as a father, is to ensure that your child is happy. If it's by the child having his way, try. If it's by the child having your way, try. But please try and raise a happy child so that that child can make a happy wife or a happy husband or make someone a happy colleague. Don't raise a child that is going to be toxic to the world. So please, parents, let's do better.
Wow. I love that. Is Tammy still here? Tammy?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. What else would you like to say? Because our time is fast spent, I want you to say something in 30 seconds.
Okay. I think that parents should be more communicative with their children and listen to them, understand them. Don't be so don't try to enforce everything, enforce all your rules, all your perspectives on that child. Let the child have a mind of his own. So that way you can work together and like everything will be fine.
Nice. There you have it, people. Don't enforce your perspective on the child. Love your children, because when you love that child, that's the love that they are going to project in the world, in the workplace, at their places of business, when they interact with their friends and family. We won't have so much bitterness in the world. This has been a beautiful session. I enjoyed myself. I loved being here. I loved being your host. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe. And until next time, I would say be exceptional, be intentional, and be on point. Bye-bye.